Hey everyone, so this is my review of Pure Genius Season 1, Episode 9, called Grace. And basically what this episode is about is that James goes to work on a patient who comes to the hospital and has a very drug-resistant form of HIV. And James works to try and come up with this sort of antiviral sort of serum to help him. And Walter must work quickly when his daughter's best friend and his daughter come to the hospital, with his daughter's best friend having this very fatal flesh-eating bacteria sort of roaming around in her system. And while that's all going on, James also comes to get to know Louis Keating's nurse. And this was a very interesting episode that was a little hard to follow at some points here and there, but still it was very entertaining to watch. And I really loved the whole idea of finally meeting Walter and his daughter. Because literally a few days before this episode aired, I was kind of having the thoughts of what his daughter could be like and how she was reacting to the whole move and everything. Because you've met his wife and you've met his son and seen them, but you hadn't seen his daughter up until now. So it was very cool that that I had those thoughts and then it happened. That was an awesome sort of moment. And that whole scene and all those stuff was very interesting to me because I'm very kind of familiar with that bacterial infection that the daughter's best friend had to some extent here and there. So it was very interesting to see their take on it and how all they chose to work through it and all that stuff, because they did a good job at explaining how it spread and how it's very hard to tell it's spread until it's kind of too late, and all that stuff was so cool with how they did it because it was very well done in truth and all that stuff, while also making it very simply explained. So that was really cool. And it was a little sad to see Walter sort of out of the loop with all the events going on with his family and stuff, where his daughter had this big secret in this episode that apparently she had informed the mother and brother about back at Christmas, but Walter was only hearing about it now. So that was a little sad that he's sort of out of the loop of his family goings on because of the fact he lives so far away. I did really and found very interesting the whole story behind that HIV patient that they had in this episode and all that they did with that. And I really kind of liked this patient's sort of mentality that he had, where he knows that he has this drug-resistant sort of form of HIV, and he knows because of that he's probably going to die fairly soon. So, his whole mentality that he wants to not be wasting his life away in the hospital in these last few times that he has. Instead, he wants to be, out on the streets and stuff and helping other people like him. And that was a really kind of cool idea that they decided to throw in there with his character and not have him be this person that just either wants to find a cure or die. He wants to help and stuff. That I really kind of enjoyed. And then it was very interesting to see how they eventually chose to cure this HIV patient and all that stuff, even though it was also a little hard to follow on what they were all gonna do in this surgery. Because, I got, bits and pieces there, but, overall, what was all going to happen there was a little hard to follow. And I do have to say that the other moments that I kind of liked, because I kind of started to feel like they were necessary, were the moments between James and Zoe, where they finally, had a conversation with each other and, explained everything to one another and, explained how they truly feel about one another. Those moments I felt were really kind of becoming necessary, so I'm happy that they did show them. And just overall, I really enjoyed this episode and it had some really great moments to it. So yeah, that's my review of Pure Genius, Season 1, Episode 9, called Grace. So yeah, bye!